Namaste. Today we will look at the story of Lord Krishna's standing posture, the Natvarasana. Some people also call it the Tribhanga pose. One day, a great sage named Narada, known for his deep wisdom and devotion, arrived in Vrindavan. Though he had seen Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, he had never witnessed Krishna's enchanting Natvarasana pose. As he walked through the lush forest, he found Lord Krishna standing on a smooth rock beneath a tree, his flute resting against his lips, and his form effortlessly curved in the threefold bent pose. Narada, mesmerized, bowed before Krishna and said, "O Krishna, your stance is beyond beauty, but I wish to know its true meaning. Why do you stand in this unique pose? What message does it carry?" Krishna, his eyes filled with mischief, smiled and said, "O Narada, if you truly wish to understand, then I shall not explain it in words. You must experience it." With a wave of his hand, Krishna extended his flute towards Narada and said, "Take my flute and stand as I do. If you can hold this pose, you will understand its meaning." Narada, a master of wisdom and music, accepted the challenge with confidence. He carefully placed his foot over the other, lifted his arms to hold the flute, and curved his body to match Krishna's stance. But within moments, his balance wavered. His leg trembled, his arms shook, and the flute nearly slipped from his fingers. No matter how much he focused, he could not hold the Natvarasana pose for more than a few seconds. He finally lost balance and was exhausted and confused. Krishna laughed gently and said to Narada, "Now do you understand?" Narada, still breathless, bowed his head in humility and said, "Lord, I do not understand. Please tell me the secret of your divine stance." Krishna, still in his effortless pose, explained. First, the raised leg indicates rising above the world. Lord Krishna said, "The foot I lift represents detachment. A true devotee must learn to rise above worldly desires, ego, and attachments. You must remain in the world but not be bound by it. Just like the lotus grows in the mud but remains untouched, a true seeker must engage in life without being tainted by materialism." Second, the supporting leg represents remaining steady in dharma. Lord Krishna said, "The leg that remains firm on the ground represents duty or dharma. Even as one rises spiritually, one must remain rooted in righteousness, love, and service." Krishna shows that spiritual growth does not mean escaping from responsibilities. Rather, one must remain stable in their devotion and service to others. Third, the curved body, which represents the flow of divine grace. Lord Krishna said, "The curve in my body represents the rhythm of life. The universe moves in a natural rhythm, and one who is truly wise learns to move with it, not against it." Lord Krishna's pose teaches that life is not rigid, it is a dance. To be in harmony with the universe, one must be flexible yet balanced. Fourth, the flute, which represents surrender to the divine will. Lord Krishna lifted his flute and twirled it between his fingers and said, "The flute is hollow, empty of ego. It allows me to play my music through it. If you wish for divine grace to flow through you, you must empty yourself of pride, doubts, and selfishness." The flute represents total surrender to the will of the divine. When the ego is gone, Lord's music plays through the soul. Fifth, the peacock feather represents humility and beauty. Lord Krishna pointed to the peacock feather on his crown and said, "The peacock feather symbolizes both beauty and humility. A devotee must be adorned with virtues but remain humble, never seeking praise for their goodness." As Narada listened, his heart filled with awe. He now saw that Krishna's Natvarasana was more than a pose, it was a complete philosophy of life. He bowed deeply and said, "O Krishna, I now understand. To stand as you do, one must have perfect balance in devotion, detachment, duty, and surrender. Only then can one experience the true bliss of your divine dance." Krishna nodded, his flute playing once more, filling the air with celestial music. What can we learn from this story? Krishna's Natvarasana pose remains an eternal reminder of how a devotee should live. First, detach from worldly illusions but remain grounded in dharma. Second, flow with the rhythm of life without resisting it. Third, surrender completely, like an empty flute, so that Krishna's music can fill your soul. Fourth, be humble yet beautiful in virtues, like the peacock feather. Even today, Krishna's Natvarasana stance is depicted in temples and paintings, reminding devotees that life itself is a divine dance and Krishna is always inviting them to join in. So, whenever you see Krishna standing in Natvarasana, remember that he is calling you to rise, to balance, to surrender, and to dance in the joy of divine love. Do let me know your comments. Namaste.